how I will contribute today is by giving an experience as a woman in the arts, what that has been like, and what it's been like for me to pursue my passion, which is opera. Not really the passion for everyone, but definitely the one for me. So, imagine yourself on stage and you're in a play, okay? There are 1,000 people in the audience watching you. They're anticipating your next line. And it's a play that they know really, really well. So well that they probably know the lines you're about to say before you do. Then what happens? You forget your line. Right? How did you know? What happens then? Maybe you go into a little bit of shock. You start to feel the lights on you. You start to feel really hot. You start to feel the weight of the costume. If you have a scene partner, you start to see their eyes that are burning into yours because they don't know what will happen next. And you're looking at them, and they're looking at you, and things could go really wrong. So maybe you could, shake it off, and you could come up with something real quick, and you can turn the scene, and that's the beauty of improvisation. Or maybe in a flash, your muscle memory will come through, and you'll nail the line. But what happens if it's not a play? If all of that text is set to music, and not only is it set to music, but you've got an orchestra of, 80 people playing along the music, and you forget your line. Do you have a chance to stop and say, let me take a moment and rethink this one? Maybe I'm just going to throw in something different and improvise. No. That is a fast-moving train, and you're either on it or you're not. And that train will go for 2 or 3 or 4 hours. That's what it's like to sing opera. It is terrifying for most people. And I love it, but it is actually terrifying. So I wanted to put it out there why on earth someone would want to do this and the lengths that I've actually gone to pursue it. So many times in these situations, you're not even singing in your native tongue. I've sung in German, in French, in Italian, fortunately, in English. You might sing in Russian, in Czech. You might sing in Chinese. That is what we do as opera singers. We have to actually master all of these different languages and communicate in them on stage. Yeah, it's pretty fun. So, a little bit about the training. That's what opera singers do. Right? Couple of notes. So it's something that you have to learn to do, and it takes many years to learn to do just that, just those few notes. And the reason it takes so many years to learn something like this is, remember when I mentioned the 80-piece orchestra that was playing along, cymbals crashing and people playing, trombones and trumpets and whatnot, and the strings are going, and you have the theater of 1,000 people? Well, opera singers don't perform with microphones. So this little amplification device, we don't have that. It's actually all acoustic. That is what makes it such a fantastic and brilliant art form. And that is what makes it so difficult and so time-consuming to learn, because you have to train your body. First of all, the muscles in your body have to gauge the air that you use in a way that is very specific. Too much air, and you can blow out your vocal cords. Too little air, and you won't be heard at the back of the auditorium. So you learn to dose these things. And you have to remember that you're dealing with vocal cords, which are the size of the fingernail. That's it. That creates all that sound. Then you think about things like resonance. You don't want to be screaming on stage. You want to be singing. How do you do that? Well, you have to learn how to use the muscles, the bones in your body to create resonating cavities. And you open spaces inside of you. And that takes years to understand how to create space internally in your head. Wish it was really easy. It's not. So that's how we do this. And you learn to create a frequency and create a resonance that cuts through all that orchestral noise. Now, Character-wise, it's a lot of fun. My voice type, I'm a lyric mezzo. I get to sing things like Carmen, so to be a gypsy and a strong, independent woman. Actually, for Women's Day, she's a wonderful character who is misrepresented often. And then the next day, I might step into the world of Cherubino, who's a 14-year-old boy, who essentially represents everything of innocent love in the world. So you can be love that equals depth, love that equals poetry, and everything in between. And that's what I do. I'm going to skip forward. Also, because you're dealing with repertoire that spans the last 500 years, you get to inhabit different stories that are generally, the stories are all the same. They're just retold in different ways. But they're told in ways that embody everything of the time. So you're getting 500 years of history in every story that you express. Now, the reality of being a singer is that you do a lot of traveling, which is amazing. It's taken me all over the world. This is Le Nozze di Figaro, Mozart. I sing Cherubino. This is Il Barbiere di Siviglia. I sing it's Rossini, and I sing Rosina. You can see this one I've performed more times. This one I'm still learning. Big difference. These stay with me at all times. They don't get packed anywhere because they're so valuable. You can have one of these if you like homework. Now that score does not include the orchestral part. That's just the singing. Yeah, so we have to learn all of that. And you can, as everything goes on, you can take a look at it because it's interesting. You probably haven't seen a score before. Now, I wanted to tell you a few sort of drawbacks of pursuing a passion like this. One of them is because you're traveling and because 99% of the auditions you do end in failure and end in rejection, it's a really difficult career. It is one where you have no stability at all. So having a family, as Francis talked about, really difficult. It's really difficult to have a relationship with anyone when you're going to be leaving for months at a time, just to be pursuing the one thing that you really thought you should be doing. Also, it becomes difficult for those reasons. It's also just difficult in the sense that because there is no stability, everything that you do is always a risk, and everything you do is unknown. I mean, I live a life that is completely unknown. I don't know what the next step will be, and it's just a guessing game. But that's part of it. And what I hope to bring today was also an understanding that most of the people that devote their lives to these artistic pursuits have actually sacrificed so much and given so much of themselves to do these things. And we don't do it because it makes us feel good. We do it for you, for the public. And for so many reasons, I just hope, actually, you know what I'll ask? How many of you have been to an opera? That's pretty good. That's not even half of you, though.
I saw those opera.
You saw them? Thank you. What I would say is take a chance and go and support local artists. Go and support them because they don't do this for us. We don't do it for us, we do it for you. And we hope somehow that we can communicate all of the love and all of the passion that we have for these art forms to you. And that's what we do it for. So that is my hope for you, and that's all I have for today. Thank you.